Hey, Shalom Akim, Yahweh Shem Shai Barakatham, Bashem Pakudash, Call Haloyim, Yahweh Shem Shai, Call Haloyim, Yahweh Shem Shai, Bashem Pakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim out there and the elect. That's the men, women, and children select to make it out of here from the coming destruction. Shalakia, right? I'm the brother Zion Allah, the DC camp, coming at you with another video. It's basically going into some history, man. Every now and then I like to go into a little history in the scriptures, like the elder apostles always used to say, um, understanding history helps you understand the scriptures, man. All right, and what the scriptures are history, man. All right. Now this particular lesson I'm going into what I'm going into, of course, the woman at the well. Now many brothers have done topics on this, done shows. I've talked about this before in the past. All right, but I just wanted to give a more visual history. I go and look at some of the maps. All right, look at some of the people and the nations, and go into it a little bit more. And that helps you understand what also helps you understand the scriptures, man. All right, and furthermore, that other nations, they're not a part of this thing of ours, as the Apostle Gabar likes to say, man. All right, the law, statutes, and commandments wasn't given to the other nations, man. It was only given to us. And you have some Israelites that believe that the woman of Samaria was an Israelite because of the fact that the Lord addressed her. But when you go into the history, you see that's not the case. All throughout history, from Genesis all the way up to Revelation, it was never about anybody else but Israel, man. The sons of God all the way up, man. All right? It was only for the Israelites, man. All right? All throughout history. So without further ado, let me go ahead and start the lesson. As you can see, this is John, the 4th chapter. Okay? So I'm going to go to John 4 and start at verse 7. All right? It says, "There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahushua said unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a Samaria, a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans." All right, so right there, she already lets you know that there's a difference. Okay, it said for the Jews have what? Have no dealings with the Samaritans. Okay, Yahushua answered and said unto her, If thou knowest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob? Now she said, Our father Jacob. See, that's what a lot of people get twisted up on, because she says, Our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drink thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle. Yahushua answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. All right? But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. All right? It says, The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahushua said unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, and that sayest thou truly. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Now she's once again, our fathers worshipped in this mountain. All right, and we're going to get into why she said our fathers worshipped in this mountain. Okay, Yahushua said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. All right, ye worship ye know not what. Why? Because she's a heathen. All right, going up until now, these people that have the Bible in their hand, thinking that they're worshiping the God of the Bible, they're not. All right, they don't know anything about the scriptures, man. These heathen out here talking about Esau and the other nations, man. They worship, they know not what. It says what? For salvation is of the Jews. Salvation is what? of the Israelites. Okay, because that's not just talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It says salvation is what the Israelites, man. Okay, it says, but the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. The true worshipers, all right, shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. All right. Now, when you go back into the history of Samaria, there was an event that happened. Okay. All right. There was an event that happened. All right. Let me go to this real quick. All right. Now, this is in the Josephus. All right. Josephus chapter 14, how Shalmaneser took Samaria by force, and he transplanted the 10 tribes into Media and brought the nation of the Cutheans, okay, into their country. The nation of the Cutheans, okay. All right. All right, you can see paragraph 3 here. All right. But now the Cutheans who removed into Samaria, let me blow it up for you a little bit. You see, it might be too big. Well, I can do it a little bit, but I guess that's the highest I can do it. All right, it says, but now the Cutheans who removed into Samaria, for that is the name they have been called by to this time, okay, because they were brought out of the country called Cutha, which is a country of Persia, and there is a river of the same name in it. Each of them, according to their nations, which were in number 5, brought their own gods into Samaria, and by worshipping them, as was the custom of their own countries, they provoked Almighty God to be angry and displeased at them, for a plague seized upon them, by which they were destroyed. And when they found no cure for their miseries, they learned by the oracle that they ought to worship the Almighty God, okay, as the method for their deliverance. So they was getting that plague, which in the scriptures, the plague was what they got attacked by lions, man. All right. Now this is 2 Kings 17 and 22. That for the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, they departed not from them. Now the children of Israel is talking about the 10 tribes, the northern tribes. Okay. Okay. All right. It says, unto the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he has said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land, but to Assyria unto this day. Now, let's get some of the maps. As you can see, Assyria is right here. You have the Caspian Sea up here, Persian Gulf. All right. Now, focus on the Tigris and the Euphrates. You have the Tigris right here, and you have the Euphrates. All right. And this right here, that goes through modern day Iraq. Okay. The Tigris and the Euphrates. And the Assyrian land is right here. All right. So the Assyrian land was actually, all right, in modern day Iraq. It wasn't called Iraq, Iran, and all that back then. All right. It was actually in Mesopotamia area, modern day Iraq, parts of Iran, parts of Turkey, parts of Syria. Okay. That's where the Assyrian people were. All right. See? Let me go back. It says, let me see, to Assyria to this day, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon. All right, see, Babylon, the Babylonians, and from Cutha, and from Avah, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities. When you go to some of these different places, other than Babylon, you have Cutha, which we're going to go into that word. It says a place from which King Sargon of Assyria imported colonies into Israel. All right, which we know that it was Shalmaneser V who did that. All right. All right. You go to, which we're going to get into that word, Cutha, Avah, a city conquered by the Assyrians. Okay. All right. Because the Assyrians were their own nation of people who conquered that other surrounding nations. Okay. Hamath. Distinguished city of Syria. Okay, the Assyrians were also, the Syrian area was also parts of Syria a little bit. All right. Sepharvaim, what a city in Syria conquered by the king of Assyria. See? Assyrians conquered different nations. All right, all right. Just going into some of the words, but I want to focus on Kufa because even in Josephus, he said the Cutheans were removed, okay, into Samaria. Okay, all right. The Cutheans were a nation of people. They're the same as the people that were in Babylon. All right, Babylon, Avah, Hamath, Sepharad. You know, these particular people, and they were placed what? In Samaria. Let me keep reading a little bit. It says, and so it was at the beginning at their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them, as we read in the Josephus, the plagues that were sent upon them. All right. Wherefore they spake to the king of Israel, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed, all right, in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of that land. See this. All right. Get a little music in the background. It says, um, nations thou hast placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of God of that land. Turn that down just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. Now it says, going back, and Salakia, bear with me. The nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon, so they took a Levite priest and took him back to teach the people. All right. So that they'll follow the laws of the God of the land. All right. It says, and the men of Babylon made Sukkah-Benoth, all right, which these are gods, okay? Cushites, men of Babylon, okay, Cushites, okay, made Sukkah-Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, which are gods, okay, and the men of Hamath made Ashima, okay, all right? And once again, we want to focus on this word Cutheans, okay, because that word, it said Cuth, the men of Cuth, all right, which in the Hebrew is Kawath, all right, as we read earlier, okay, a province in Assyria, okay, in that region, right? So bear with me, all right? In Kuth, all right? Now remember it said up here, a country called Kutha, which is a country of Persia, right? Well, let's go into this. This word Kuth, Kuth, Kutha, Kuth, Cuthean, all right? There was another, there was another, there was another one in the, that I had. There it is. I like this one too. I'm gonna keep this on deck too. All right. So Kuth, Kutha, Kutha, right? Right. Now when you go down here, Kutha in textual sources, it says this agrees with the biblical statement that the men of Kutha served Nergal, their god. Josephus placed Kutha, which for him is the name of a river in a district in Persia. And Neubauer says that it is the name of a country near Kurdistan. Let's click on Kurdistan. Now, Kurdistan, modern Kurdistan, you see in this region, Kurdish inhabited area. Well, Kurdistan was this region. All right, you see parts of Iran, parts of Turkey, parts of Iraq, parts of Syria. Okay, and that's exactly where Assyria was in this region. So when you look at Kutha, see, look where Kutha is. You have the Tigris and Euphrates, and you have Kutha up here above Babylon. All right. See that? So you have Cutha probably in this region here. Okay. You ever take some, well, generally within this region here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go into that word Cuth some more. Okay. It says, one of the 5 cities from which Sargon, king of Assyria, brought settlers, which we know that was Shalmaneser. But they give a scripture, so we know that's Shalmaneser, the 5th. All right. It says, the result was a mixture of religions and peoples, the latter being known in the Talmud, okay, Cuthim, Samaritans, okay. They are called in the Hebrew tongue Cutheans, but in the Greek, Samaritans. All right. So if you take away the term Samaritan, you should put Cuthean, okay, which in turn, all right, will give you more of a context of who those people were. All right. All right. Samaritan is the Greek way of saying what? Cuthean. All right. Or Kawath, as we read. You see? All right. Yeah. Now going into Genesis 10, I want to bring out this point as well. Genesis 10 and verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. Okay. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babal and Erech and Akkad, Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Now Shinar is the Hebrew way of saying Sumerian or Sumer. Okay. All right. Sumer. Right. Ancient Sumeria in this land, okay, all right, aka Babylonian, okay, all right, aka Chaldea, okay, various names, but the Hebrew way of saying Sumer is Shinar, all right. Now you said Babylon and Erect, all these areas right here were Nimrod's kingdom where he began to rule, all right. See. It says, out of that land went forth Ashur and builded Nineveh and the city Rehoboth and Calah. Now it says, notice it says out of that land. Now when you look at this at first, you may be confused and think that this is dealing with the Hamites because it's starting with Cush on down, right? But it says out of that land went forth Ashur and builded Nineveh and the city Rehoboth and Calneh. When we look at Ashur, it's Ashawar, okay, or Ashawar, the second son of Shem, okay, a eponymous ancestor of the Assyrians, the people of Assyria, the land of Syria. See, so out of that land went forth Assyria. See, Assyria was also around that land. Okay, in that land of ancient Babylon, ancient Sumer, ancient Shinar. Okay, out of that land you have what? Assyria. All right, you got Assyria. See, like I said before, Assyria comprised of a whole bunch of places: Syria, Turkey, Iraq, Iran. Okay, it wasn't just the Babylonians and stuff that lived there; it was other nations there. You had the Assyrians there. Our people were in this area at one point, okay? Going back to Abraham and the forefathers, man, okay? They were up here in this area, all right? You see, we go back to Genesis 10, all right? So out of that land went forth Ashur. And as you can see, it has nothing to do with being a Hamite. It's out of that land, within that land, all right? See, when you go here, Genesis 10 and 22, the children of Shem, Elam, Ashur are facts that learn in a row. That word Ashur there is right there, Ashawar. Okay? Right there again, the land of Assyria, the people of Assyria. Okay? Alright. So you had Assyrian kings that came, like Shalmaneser, Assyrian kings that conquered other surrounding nations over there. And they took the actual Hamites and removed them out of that land and sent them to what? Samaria. You see that? That's how a lot of them got moved out of that land because they was moved out and placed in what Samaria. Man. All right, all right, and then those people were raised in the land of Israel all the way up until John the fourth chapter. Okay, all right. Of course, you had Israelites in the land of Samaria as well. Okay, you have Israelites. You had Judah, Benjamin, and Levi up in there. You had Israelites are scattered everywhere. All right. But you had a lot of those people that were moved up in that land, and guess what? They began to think that, they went back to Jacob. That's what it said. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yahweh shall say unto her, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews, deliverance is of the Israelites. All right, plain and simple, man. All right. So I just wanted to do a short history lesson going into Cutha. All right. Now, even in Second Kings, it named Second Kings 17 and 24, it named different regions, but the majority of these regions were of one people. All right, which were the Cutheans, and the Cutheans, the Greek word is Samaritans. The Cutheans go back to what? The Cush. All right. I had another one where it straight up said a different. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. Kutha. Cuthean. Salakia Akim. I had another one. Yeah, this is the other one I had. The ancient Babylonian Samaritan city of Cutha, Cuth, all right, was the capital for a people who know today over the course of history by various names, such as the Cush, different varied spellings of it. Cush, Kish, Kuthites, Cushite, Cuthians, Chaldeans, okay, Babylonians, and Samaritans. All these are the same people. Okay, all of them are the same people. They all go back to Cush, man. Okay, all right. So I just wanted to bring this information out that that woman at the well through history was a heathen, and the Lord let her know so. The salvation is only of the Jews, man. No other nation can get up in there, man. All right, but like the apostle said years ago, to understand the scriptures sometimes is what understanding history is a good part of understanding the scriptures. And sometimes you have to go in and dig, man. It brings forth further understanding. All right. So with that call, Haloim Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kal Kadash, and as always to the elect, a double shalom.